The Anti-Vindictive Actions Act. Vindictive, adjective, having or showing a strong or unreasoning desire for revenge. The criticism was both vindictive and personalized. Foot 1. What does it mean if a person is vindictive? Foot 2. AI overview. A vindictive person is someone who is eager for revenge and seeks to harm others in retaliation for a perceived wrong, often disproportionately. These individuals are driven by a vengeful spirit and have a strong desire to punish, sometimes in covert or spiteful ways. The behavior is motivated by a desire for payback rather than a need for justice or fairness. As such, vindictive actions are not rational actions, nor are they legal, thus not something that anyone working for the U.S. government should be doing. Footnote 1. Google says, dictionary. Definitions from Oxford Languages. Footnote 2. Asked of Google, is a vindictive act legal? Foot 1. AI overview. No. A vindictive act, especially in the context of a criminal prosecution, is not legal in the United States. The U.S. Supreme Court has ruled that prosecutorial vindictiveness, where a prosecutor retaliates against a defendant for exercising a legal right, is a violation of the defendant's constitutional right to due process. This protection extends to both actual and perceived retaliation. So, any action taken by an elected, appointed, hired, or volunteer, agent or employee of the U.S. federal government that is vindictive in nature, as a response to any action from any individual living in the world who did not commit a proven federal felony without provable indication they shall in the future, is committing an impeachable, fireable, criminal, imprisonable act. Footnote 1. Asked of Google. The Anti-Vindictive Actions Act, Future Amendment. Vindictive actions shall not be allowed to stand from any elected, appointed, hired, or volunteer, agent, or employee of the U.S. federal government. Section 1. Vindictive acts by their nature are not an action taken because of an action that impose danger on anyone from or anything in United States, and are by their nature huge overreactions to the original incident or slight, nor does incident have to have been done by a real individual or group. Subsection 1. Vindictive acts can be based on 1. Bigotry, 2. Arrogance, 3. Stupidity, 4. Mental instability, 5. Or a combination of these factors. As such, the action needs to be investigated on 2 tracks: the legality and rationality of the action. Subsection 2. If the action is illegal, the incident is deserving of removal from their position inside the government, whether that be firing or impeachment from office. Subsection 3. If the action is caused by irrationality, it calls for treatment and removal from office until they are cured of the behavior. Section 2. Failure by higher-ups of the employee or by authorities that are meant to monitor the employee. That let a vindictive act stand, by the act of letting it stand and not trying to counter the vindictive action, are by this failure to respond properly a party to the action, a conspirator to the vindictive action, thus should be investigated for possible prosecution. President Trump has done this repeatedly. He has repeatedly publicly stated that he is doing something just because 1. He is not getting his way, 2. That someone said something bad about him, 3. That without proof of criminal action, he is having a boatload of people killed, 4. Canada released a video of Reagan stating untargeted, unspecific tariffs are, well, idiotic. These are all actions of an insane man who thinks he is king. The repeated failure by the Cabinet, the Supreme Court, and Congress are the inactions of cowards, a brand that they shall carry with them forever, long past these earthly bounds, which they should find terrifying, given that this makes them a conspirator to murder, which is not something the Ten Commandments justifies, but a lot of what a certain party has been doing for the past couple of decades are things that Jesus and the commandments do not exactly endorse. Do not fit at all with the Sermon on the Mount. Foot 1. Key teachings. What are the key teachings of the Sermon on the Mount? Footnote 1. Asked of Google. Matthew 5. The Sermon on the Mount. Seeing the crowds, he went up on the mountain, and when he sat down, his disciples came to him. The Beatitudes. 2. And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, 3. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. 4. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. 5. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. 6. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. 7. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. 8. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. 9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. 10. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. 11 through 12. 11. Blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you, and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Foot 1. 12. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven, for so they persecuted the prophets who were before you. Salt and light. 13. You are the salt of the earth, but if salt has lost its taste, how shall its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything, except to be thrown out and trampled under people's feet. 14 through 16. 14. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. 15. Nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house. 16. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. Footnote 1, which is something that has been happening in churches across America for the past few decades. Christ came to fulfill the law. 17 through 20. 17. Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. 18. For truly I say to you, until heaven and earth pass away, not an iota, not a dot, will pass from the law until all is accomplished. 19. Therefore whoever relaxes one of the least of these commandments and teaches others to do the same will be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever does them and teaches them will be called great in the kingdom of heaven. 20. For I tell you, unless your righteousness exceeds that of the scribes and Pharisees, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Anger. 21 through 26. 21. Have heard that it was said to those of old, you shall not murder, and whoever murders will be liable to judgment. Foot 1. 22. But I say to you that everyone who is angry with his brother will be liable to judgment. Whoever insults his brother will be liable to the council, and whoever says, you fool, will be liable to the hell of fire. 23. So if you are offering your gift at the altar, and there remember that your brother has something against you. 24. Leave your gift there before the altar and go. First be reconciled to your brother, and then come and offer your gift. Foot 2. 25. Come to terms quickly with your accuser while you are going with him to court, lest your accuser hand you over to the judge, and the judge to the guard, and you be put in prison. Foot 3. 26. Truly I say to you, you will never get out until you have paid the last penny. Foot 4. Footnote 1. Do not kill. Footnote 2. Do not harm. Footnote 3. Confess to your crimes. Footnote 4. Do not expect pardon for your crimes. Do not expect remissions from fines. Lust 27 through 30. 27. You have heard that it was said, you shall not commit adultery. 28. But I say to you that everyone who looks at a woman with lustful intent has already committed adultery with her in his heart. 29. If your right eye causes you to sin, tear it out and throw it away. For it is better that you lose one of your members than that your whole body be thrown into hell. 30. And if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. For it is better that you lose one of your members than that your whole body go into hell. Divorce. 31 through 32. 31. It was also said, whoever divorces his wife, let him give her a certificate of divorce. 32. But I say to you that everyone who divorces his wife, except on the ground of sexual immorality, makes her commit adultery. And whoever marries a divorced woman commits adultery. Oaths. 33 through 37. 33. Again you have heard that it was said to those of old, you shall not swear falsely, but shall perform to the Lord what you have sworn. 34. But I say to you, do not take an oath at all, either by heaven, for it is the throne of God. 35. Or by the earth, for it is footstool. Or by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. 36. And do not take an oath by your head, for you cannot make one hair white or black. 37. Let what you say be simply yes or no. Anything more than this comes from evil. Foot 1. Footnote, which seems to be a general state of always speak the truth, which is something President Trump, his cabinet, and Republicans in Congress cannot do. You cannot call someone a communist without saying what actions they are taking are communist, nor without pointing out the action in comparison to what communist governments have done, nor without stating if the actions have been done by scores of non-communist countries. Just as you cannot call someone a fascist without saying what actions they are taking are fascist, nor without pointing out the action in comparison to what fascist governments have done, nor without stating if the actions have been done by scores of non-fascist countries. Retaliation 38 through 42. 38. You have heard that it was said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. 39. But I say to you, do not resist the one who is evil. But if anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to him the other also. Foot 1. 40. And if anyone would sue you and take your tunic, let him have your cloak as well. 41. And if anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go with him 2 miles. 42. Give to the one who begs from you, and do not refuse the one who would borrow from you. Love your enemies. 43 through 48. 43. You have heard that it was said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. 44. But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. 45. So that you may be sons of your Father who is in heaven. For he makes his sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the just and on the unjust. 46. For if you love those who love you, what reward do you have? Do not even the tax collectors do the same? 47. And if you greet only your brothers, what more are you doing than others? Do not even the Gentiles do the same? 48. You therefore must be perfect, as your heavenly Father is perfect. Footnote 1. Jesus would never take up arms. He would not carry a sword, let alone a gun. Is it me? Or is a lot of that more woke than anything you have heard from a Democrat? Compare that to 1. Calling all illegals from somewhere criminals, rapists, drug dealers. 2. Saying that all people from a certain place, a certain race, certain religion, or do certain things that do not harm others in private, unwanted in the United States. 3. That has purposely torn children from parents, and doing so in a manner that makes it impossible to return them to their parents. 4. That when universal health care is available all over the place, refuse to consider it. AI overview. As of 2023, approximately 73 countries provide universal health care, meaning that all citizens have access to healthcare services without out-of-pocket costs. These countries include, in Europe, Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Iceland, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, UK. In the Americas, Argentina, Canada, Costa Rica, Cuba, Mexico, Peru, Venezuela. In Asia, Australia, India, Japan, Malaysia, New Zealand, North Korea, Saudi Arabia, South Korea, Taiwan. In Africa, Algeria, Botswana, Ghana, Mauritius, Seychelles, South Africa. It's important to note that while healthcare is free in these countries, it is typically funded through taxes. Additionally, some countries may have exceptions or restrictions on certain services or treatments. B. Why cannot the United States do this? B. 1. Besides wishing to favor the rich over the poor, President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a people that values its privileges above its principles, soon loses both. Inaugural Address, Washington, D.C., January 20th, 1953. A sound nation is built of individuals, sound in body and mind and spirit. Government dares not ignore the individual citizen. Rally in the public square, Cleveland, Ohio, October 1st, 1956. Democracy is essentially a political system that recognizes the equality of humans before the law. Address to Constituent Assembly, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, August 8, 1946. Today in America, unions have a secure place in our industrial life. Only a handful of unreconstructed reactionaries harbor the ugly thought of breaking unions. Only a fool would try to deprive working men and women of the right to join the union of their choice. Speech to the American Federation of Labor, New York City, September 17, 1952. Don't join the book burners. Don't think you are going to conceal faults by concealing evidence that they ever existed. Don't be afraid to go in your library and read every book as long as that document does not offend our own ideas of decency. That should be the only censorship. Dartmouth College Commencement Exercises, Hanover, New Hampshire, June 14, 1953. In the long perspective of history, the right to vote has been one of the strongest pillars of a free society. Our first duty is to protect this right against all encroachment. State of the Union Message, Washington, D.C., January 7, 1960. The opening for the Constitution of the United States. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. President Franklin Roosevelt. We must especially beware of that small group of selfish men who would clip the wings of the American eagle in order to feather their own nests. Part of a speech delivered on January 6, 1941.